The bounty hunters. "Hey, Snaky, come in, Snaky," Bike says after the download was complete. "What? Is this about the data? I just sent it on," Snaky asks. "Not that. Target Actual's nickname. It appears to be a password. Some people are really damn lazy with the things. Run it through a translator and see if it can be used to activate anything of Grace's that we have." Bike explains and Snaky pauses. "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Why would a mad scientist use their damn computer password as a kill phrase?" "I don't know. Do I look like an insane code cloner?" Bike demands. "You're not pretty enough." Snaky replies and Bike sighs as he looks upwards for strength for a moment. Translations in. We have 246 possible matches, not including slang or close matches that might show up due to a speech impediment. Those options put us into the 6,000 range. "Really?" Bike asks. "I mean, it sounds Czech, but..." "That's one of the slightly off options. It means death everywhere in a human language, but in most others it's pretty boring. Top 5 are, it's time, start now, do it, turn on, and I'm hungry. The next 5 are, turn around, don't know, little thing, be quiet, and that's dumb." "Do any of them mean numbers?" Bike asks as a suspicion forms. "Hold on," Snaky says and then lets out a humming sound. There's only one language where part of it is a number. In Pisan, a language used by some drifters, smirt means 0. Vasuda, however, it means great. Great 0? Bitch had an ego. Wait, what kind of drifters? Star drifters. A small subculture that rarely settle for long in any system. They have a bad reputation in some places, but generally they're on the up and up. They have their own language called Pisan, which means voice. They actually call themselves the Reichle Meisle, or wiser path in their language. And something completely else in Czech. Apparently your Czechoslovakians like the same kind of sounds, Snaky says, before suddenly letting out a puzzled sound. "Found something?" "Letha just sent me a text. She's been going over Grace's assets, and in 1089 CE 5 years ago, there was a request for a persistent typo in Iva's paperwork to be cleared up," Snaky says. "What was it?" Pukey asks, walking up to where Bike is and crouching down near the equipment. Iva Grace was apparently called Ivan Grace and was registered as a male. A quick DNA test and a few unusually expedient government workers and it was all cleared up. "DNA test?" Pukey asks. "Some people try to get tax breaks by claiming to be male at times. If they don't have a job where they have to go in, then they can get all sorts of little breaks," Snaky explains and Pukey nods. "So, Iva Grace was 0 and Ivan Grace is subject prime? She screwed over her father? I don't know. I'm just getting more confused. Maybe it was a typo? The paperwork from the Reichle Meisle isn't the best," Snaky says. "I'm going to keep digging, but every step forward feels like another step back. Why the hell do you make your computer password a kill command?" "I don't know. Maybe she just used it as a placeholder and couldn't change it later. Why she would keep it as her passcode is even more baffling." Bike protests. "Not if she was trying to catch a Reichle Meisle." Pukey considers. "One that would say Great 0 out of nowhere?" Snaky asks incredulously. "It went off with partial activations. What if it wasn't the whole word but either word?" Bike asks, and there's a pause. "Hang on. I'm looking up popular. There we go. Visud is used in nearly half of these sayings, and it looks like Ivan's particular band of the Reichle would use the term smart a fair amount. Things like you have 0 chance or stuff like that," Snaky says. "So, was it all just a smokescreen?" "Depends. How long was Ivan Grace on Albrith?" Pukey asks. "About a week before the identity correction," Snaky says. "Okay, now I got some goddamn questions for Ivan if he still has the fucking brain to answer them," Pukey says with a groan. "Like, why the fuck did you make a clone of yourself a week after moving in?" She may have been made in transit, but still, why would... You know what, let's just grab as many notes as possible, all the information we can, and... The lights shut off. Oh, now what? Hang on, there has to be something in the files, Snaky says as the sound of escaping air starts to fill the area. Everyone, through the door, Pukey orders as suit and weapon lights activate. The expanded room is gone as well as all the furniture, and there's a distinct howl pulling to the far wall. The standard station door is rated against explosive decompression. It's a basic safety feature that has saved countless lives. It lasts all of a 20th of a second against the hat and Mr. T's undivided attention. Solid ice! It leads nowhere! Clear! J3 roars at them and both huge men melt to the side. The blast of a sniper rifle goes off and the ice shatters somewhat, but it's not enough as it only makes a crater and not opening up a path as he hoped. Brace! Pukey roars and everyone channels Axiom through their feet and takes strong stances. Just in time for the far wall to fully shatter and blow out backwards to reveal the gas giant in the distance, the torn-out halves of the door spinning out of sight in moments. Comms check, 1, 2, 3. Is everyone all right? Thankfully, everyone answers quickly. It's only through the comms as the atmosphere each man has barely reaches a centimeter past their skin and armor. Bike, where are we? Opposite side of the moon. It'll take hours to hike back to the base if we go over the outside. I recommend calling a shuttle. We're also out of the systems and I can't detect much, if anything, in the way of tech. I think this is a dumping room. Shift someone dimensionally to this spot and then blow the back wall. We triggered some kind of trap, that's for sure. No kidding. Now the real questions are if the trap is finished or just getting started. And if it is just getting started, what next? Not that we can do anything about it now. Call a shuttle, Bike. We're getting out of here. Mission failed? Bike asks. No, but we do need to get back to the rest of the station. I don't know about all of you, but when I get my ass kicked out, I just want to be in all the more. I hear that, sir, Bike says, and there's light laughter over the network. Should we get ready to start blowing holes in things? Itchy asks in an eager tone. Yes. If sucking vacuum is on the table, then sucking vacuum is on the table. If they won't give us a direct, rational route to where we want to be, I want to go right through the fucking walls. To that end, Itchy mustard, I want you both to have a full download of the blueprints. I need you both to know which walls we can and cannot just blow out of the way. From this moment forward, wall and door are now synonymous and both floor and ceiling mean hole. Understood? Sir. Yes, sir. Both Mustard and Itchy sound out eagerly. Automated shuttle is soon to arrive. It'll need a slight jump, but we'll be able to board with ease, Bike says. Automated my ass. The moment I get in, I'm going to be piloting that thing properly, and not just having some video game bullshit try and fail to get us where we need to be. Airfarce adds into the comms and there's some snorts of amusement. The wait for the shuttle isn't long, but it is unnerving. No amount of spacewalks really gets a man comfortable about being in the void, even with an active comm. System. The lack of environmental sounds and smells is isolating in the extreme. Some handle it better than others. Pukey's unending stimulation from his cybernetic limbs keeps him grounded. J3 and Tang are used to focusing on things visually to the exclusion of everything else. Both of them take turns, either scanning the room for further traps or trying to make out details on the gas giant in the distance. Itchy and Mustard are fidgety, neither of them fully comfortable in the situation as the Hat and Mr. T are chatting with Dong and Airfarce more or less endlessly. Bike is easily kept busy by monitoring his communications equipment, and thankfully the shuttle shortly arrives. Wait here, ladies. I'll back it up properly, Airfarce says, and he jumps out and then suddenly accelerates as he leaves the gravity well of the moon. His comm is still open, so they all hear the clang as he slams into the side of the shuttle, and thankfully he isn't stunned by it and can grab on. He gets inside, and shortly after the shuttle backs up expertly, and the rear hatch opens with a clear force field over it. He manages to thread the needle going backwards and holds the shuttle just 6 inches from the edge of the room with less than an inch clearance on all 4 sides. "I'd chide you for showing off, but that's fucking impressive," Pukey remarks, and the cackle he gets back from air farce rings out even as they all quickly pile into the shuttle. The trip is short and to the point. It takes what seems like seconds to get back to the entrance of the mining station proper, and they start to disembark. No eye to watch them. No alerts sound out. The lights are on, but no one is home. The first door they find blocking their way proves itself pretty weak compared to the blast door, as it's outright dislodged by a stern boot from Pukey. Then the lights flicker and the station finally starts to resist them. The first step is a fucking avalanche that tries to bury them alive in the crystal skulls, which lets the boys know everything they need to about the mental state of Subject Prime. Unfortunately for Prime, with Mr. T and the Hat as the shield, Mustard and Itchy have time enough to detonate a plasma charge against the floor, and the skulls are quickly drained away a full level down. Seconds later, the hole suddenly starts belching out a torrent of blood. Not only is it not letting out the skulls, but the blood starts to rise up. They rip off the next door, find the rooms have been looped, and plasma weapons are pulled to reduce blood and stone into smears of ash, while also punch further holes downwards into the floor. Most of them get at least partially plugged by the crystal skulls, but it all starts draining away until... "Stop! Stop! You can stop now! Please stop!" 2 suddenly shouts from the speaker system. "Who are we speaking with? 2? 1? Someone else?" Pukey demands upwards. Who are you people? What do you want?" she asks. "Answer the question," Pukey orders. I'm 1. I'm first of the line. The caretaker. Why are you here? We were told that we might come under attack by people who want to hurt my child, but why? Why are you doing this?" 1 demands. "This is a rescue operation, not an assassination mission," Pukey says, and there's a dead silence, broken only by the blood pouring away. "Rescue? Rescue? We need rescue from you," 1 suddenly shouts, and Pukey raises an eyebrow. "Do you have any idea what Zero has been doing?" Pukey demands. "Who?" 1 asks. "Iva Grace, the one who created your line and mentally wiped out her creator, the person who made you and gave you Subject Prime to take care of," Pukey shouts, and there's a pause. "What?" 1 demands. "How do you not know this? It took us 2 minutes with computer access in that office room to find this out." "How did you even know the password?" 1 demands. "How? How could we not? It's the kill phrase that's all but destroyed Albrecht. Hundreds of billions are dead due to the words Vsudas marked." Pukey shouts up. "You expect me to believe something that insane? I don't care anymore. I tried playing nice and was blown out the airlock among many, many other indignities. We're going to be speaking face to face and sorting out this nonsense, and if I have to carve this station into little pieces, then so fucking be it. I'm entirely willing to burn, blast, and shoot my way through everything in my way to see you. Now the only question is, and this is entirely up to you by the way, how much do I have to destroy to have that conversation? And if I just have you all exterminated for threatening my child," 1 demands, "then you face the entire army we're an extension of. We are a very vengeful and violent people when pushed, and that's if we don't escape and return with continent crushers to reduce this place into a bad memory. Failing that, we can siege you out and starve you. You've received your last shipment of food, period. Now are we going to speak like rational beings, or are we fighting this out?" Pukey threatens, and there's a silence. "Hold on a minute. I need to calm Prime down before you can move safely. You've scared him," 1 says after a little while. "Very well. You have 10 minutes, Pukey says.